Let's start with an easy question.
Sure.
What's your name?
Hi, I'm Mark Morris.
How do you stay positive?
I start out each day with purpose. I plan each day. I wake up early and just think about all the things I have to do that day and try to set a game plan.
Which of your skill sets as an agent are you most confident in?
I think one of the skill sets that or benefits that I have is my realm of knowledge. I mean, I started out in banking. I started out in auditing and finance, and then went into appraising, then worked with the capital group, and then now more recently in commercial real estate exclusively. So I think it's just the broad knowledge is one that's helped me and served my clients well.
How long have you been with Beverly Hanks?
I have been with Beverly Hanks since mid-2016. I came to work in June following the closure of an appraisal business that I had for 33 years. So,
did you have a business goal for this past year?
Not really in terms of hitting a certain dollar amount. It's just trying to do and be the best that I can be. Facing each day is a challenge and looking forward to it, engaging clients and the learning process of working with clients. So
yeah. What was your first concert?
My first concert was Dave Mason at Western Carolina. And that was most memorable because we climbed through the gym window, probably 8 or 10 of us, to see the concert.
What music are you listening to lately?
You know, it's kind of corny, but I listen to whatever the grandkids listen to and whatever my wife listens to. I mean, I don't have any favorite picks of music. I just sort of go with the flow by design. That's what I listen to.
How many grandkids do you have?
5, presently.
What is your favorite Beverly Hanks memory so far?
Probably Robin Boylan, who passed recently, and some of Robin's stories. I mean, they're just never ending. They just stick with you, and they're very humorous. But you really have to know Robin. But he was a true champ. I sit right beside Robin, and really enjoyed him.
What advice would you give a brand new agent starting out at Beverly Hanks?
Well, I will tell you how I trained or gave advice to people starting out with my appraisal firm. I would take them out into the field. I would say, look around, what do you see? You know, not just what's obvious, but look at the ground, look up, look all around, look at utilities, and then study the property. You know, that's the easy part. The hard part, the challenging part of commercial real estate is understanding your clients. What makes them think, how they think, why do they think the way that they do? And then trying to come up with ways to sort of prepare them for negotiating, because you do have to a certain degree.
Do you like to dance?
I love to dance. My wife and I have danced for 10 years or more. And just, it's an escape.
What's your favorite style of dance?
Probably my favorite dance is the Viennese waltz because it's elegant, it's fun, and then swing, followed by swing, because swing dance gets your blood going, and it's very enjoyable, and it's more modern, I think.
What do you have planned for today?
Probably the same thing that I did yesterday, is just go out and enjoy what I do. I mean, seriously, I find the challenge, the game of commercial real estate intriguing. I love my job, what I do, because it requires you to sort of figure out a problem.
Which do you find most gratifying, buyers or sellers?
You know, it really depends on the outcome. Because you work with all types, but seeing their accomplishment, their satisfaction in the transaction It varies. Some are more satisfied than others, but that's just all part of dealing with the personality of the client, the
Sure.
challenge.
Are you a texter or a caller?
I am a texter.
Who's the last person you texted?
It was my wife.
Do you have a favorite local nonprofit?
I have worked with the VFW, Veterans of Foreign War, on a recent project in Hendersonville. I have worked with ABCCM, with my wife, who's a very strong advocate and a supporter of the Women's Homeless Shelter. And so I tend to work with her as a team on certain things, but the VFW to me was probably most rewarding because a lot of the members in that group were older. There were a couple of guys that were Korean War vets that would tell their stories. And so I got to know some of those guys, and I can't really relate to what they went through, but we had an interesting time together. So that was very rewarding for me.
If you could make a documentary on any topic, what would it be?
It's almost, I guess, self-consciousness. How do you, in terms of working with your clients, try to figure out the problems, the issues that they're faced with, and understanding that and understanding their mindset. So I would say that that's an important, and if I were to do a documentary, it would be the study of that, the philosophy of how they think, why they think, what motivates them. Because it is, most of the time, it's not the property, it's not actually the deal, it's knowing what motivates the client. So that's what I would
That's amazing.
focus.
What is your favorite way to celebrate success?
Head to the lake. Go out on the boat. Anything lake related, lake activities, fishing, pontoon, just being outside, enjoying the outdoors.
What's the biggest fish you've ever caught?
The biggest fish I have ever caught probably was a 6-foot shark. But typically it's smaller, and sometimes there are no fish to bring home.
What's your favorite TV show?
Probably my favorite TV show is YouTube. I don't really have one. I wake up in the morning, I watch Good Morning America, and I watch World News Tonight. And so it's whatever my wife is watching that, other than The Bachelor, I will say that is not my favorite show. But I don't really have a favorite show.
What's your favorite ice cream flavor?
I like Rocky Road. Rocky Road.
Are you a picky eater?
It really depends on what my wife cooks.
What's your favorite meal?
Steak and potatoes, and broccoli.
Do you have any funny real estate stories?
I could probably sit here and tell several, but what really doesn't come to mind as much as the experiences of the satisfaction of some of the folks that I've worked with. So I've had some funny stories, but they're probably not as strong or as memorable as some of the more types of transactions that resulted in a good ending.
Do you have any fun travel stories or vacation stories?
Well, a few years ago we went to Italy, and my wife and I started out on what we thought would be about an hour hike. It was the Path of the Gods, and it turned out it was about a 3,000 elevation climb. We got to the top, and the path was about 2 feet wide, and my wife is afraid of heights, and so she literally crawled across the path to get over the ridge and cried the whole way, and I couldn't help but laugh. But then we got down to the other side, and we thought we were almost into the village of Positano, and we come to this sign that says 2,000 steps to the village below. So what turned out to be a 1-hour hike was about a 5-hour hike, and our legs were shaking, and we just about collapsed when we got to the end of it. It was very memorable. It was a lot of fun.
Where do you consider home?
Western North Carolina. I've lived here since college, and just love it. I just love the mountains.
What do you love about Western North Carolina and the mountains?
Well, what drew me to, I went to school at Western, was the mountain nature. I love to fish, I love to be outdoors, I love to hunt. So that is what drew me. And the choices were either I go to Wilmington, and my fear was I'll end up a beach bum because I love to saltwater fish, or I come to the mountains and I can focus more because there's less metro life here that would distract me. So I came and brought my bicycle, my fishing rod, and that's how I spent, and that's what drew me here, the mountains of Colorado. So I ended up here.
Do you have a large family?
I do not. Fairly small.
Do you have any animals you would consider family?
You know, I don't really have any animals that I consider family, but I will say my daughter is a veterinarian. So I pretty well adopted whatever she brought home and fostered, and that became, I guess, my favorite animal. But it changed, whether it was a chicken, whether it was a dog, a cat, whatever the animal was, an owl. You know, you sort of adopt and take up whatever, you know, your kids find pleasure in and enjoyment and purpose.
Which of your hobbies would you like to spend more time with?
Making things, cooking, those are the things that I enjoy most, and building something. So,
how do you recharge your battery?
You know, recharging your batteries is finding time for yourself and enjoying what you do most.
Do you have any words of wisdom or a quote you like to use?
Not really. I think as you get older, you get wiser. My wife has, her favorite saying to me is, the wiser of men is less talkative.
Do you have a favorite book?
Not really. I tend to read whatever is laying around the house. Sometimes it's a comic book, depending on the mood that I'm in. But I read a lot of books, but it's hard to say that I've got a favorite.
What was your first car?
My first car was a yellow Pinto, about a 72 model.
Do you have a dream car?
My dream car is a 69 Ford F-150. That's what I had in college. That was the fun truck or car. We went, all of my buddies in college, we would go everywhere in my truck. We'd have 10 or 15 people in the back of the truck. And I was always driving my truck because I was the only one of our group that had a truck. So we would go camping and fishing and just having fun in the truck, getting into trouble in the truck.
What actor would you choose to play you in a movie?
I really don't have a favorite actor. I would probably say it would have to be Mickey Mouse.
Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Well, sometimes I'm both. It really depends on the need and the time. So it's hard to say, but I find the quiet time is early morning and late evening. So I'm both. I tend to break up the day. I think that just makes it a little bit easier.
Do you have a morning routine?
Wake up, drink coffee, watch the news.
How did you start your day today?
Same as I do every day. Wake up, drink coffee, watch the news.
What are you grateful for?
Probably the one thing that I'm most grateful for is my kids. They're self-sufficient. They have ethic, work ethic. They're good, and they have a sense of purpose. And so I feel like I've done my job in life.
How do you express your gratitude?
Just a simple thank you, for the business, for the opportunity. That's the most simple way that I can say it. It's just thank you.
And our last question, why Beverly Hanks?
I came to Beverly Hanks after 33 years of having my own business, and I was getting a little bit older, a little bit wiser. But I chose Beverly Hanks. I did have some other opportunities, but I chose because I thought the company was trendy, that the company was professional, that they set good examples, they had brand. And so I wanted to go with a company that offered those things because those are the same standards that I've always believed in.